I got a new toy. The box says up to 55 kilometers range. From my house to town and back is about 25 kilometers, but there's many hills and we have to go through the bush. Can we make it?
And we're off.
G'day, I'm Cam, and this is the Daxys Bandicoot electric scooter. It's got some standout features like dual suspension, a 1000 watt peak motor, and it's road ready with lights. However, there are some quirks, one of which caused me to almost crash into my car. Alright, so handlebars, it's a snug fit. Handle here in the back. Oh, that's a nice mechanism. With a recommended rider height of 160 centimeters and above, combined with a max weight bearing of 120 kilos, this scooter isn't for kids. Oh, bit of damage already out of the box. Uh-oh, seems someone over-tightened a screw and has cracked the rear fender. Let's send off an email to Panmi and see what they say. It can't be that hard to replace, right? Right? You'll see. The manual highlights wearing protective gear, so for the first ride, I wore it all.
It's a cow cheering me on. Push. Alright, this is eco mode. Alright, that's definitely very chill. Let's bump her up one. Look, I'm not blown away, honestly. That feels kind of standard. Oh, geez, the brakes work. Let's go sport. Whoa, gee! I almost popped a manual. You keep it full throttle to make sure you get to the top of the hill, and then it's like, I need to stop. I'm feeling pretty nervous for this journey, simply because I haven't even ridden my normal bike this way. I normally ride on the highway, but in the state of Victoria, you legally can't ride on roads over 60 kilometers an hour, even if in the bike lane. So we're gonna have to go bush down dirt paths. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Oh, that's so good.
The wide handlebars and wide foot platform really make this a comfortable ride.
No motorbikes. No, that's not us.
The scooter is rated for a maximum incline of a 25% slope, which converts to a 14-degree angle.
He's like, no chance. Okay, this is one of our biggest hills. I don't think we'll make it in dynamic. It's at 5 kilometers an hour, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, oh, 4, we're getting up. We did it!
Remember, the load you place on the scooter is your personal weight plus any baggage. I don't mean emotional, I mean like a backpack. And so all of that factors into its hill climbing ability. Now for my ride into town, wear my helmet. You only get one brain, and I recommend MIPS certification if you can afford it. And I'm also gonna wear my wrist guards because if you've been watching for a while, you know I've been recovering from a skateboarding hand injury, and I don't want setbacks on my rehab.
All right, here is where the trail ends. Oh. Off-road, this is where the suspension comes in handy. Push passion on the Bandicoot. I would not have thought of riding an e-scooter here, but it works.
I rode the scooter through puddles and in the rain. That's thanks to an IPX4 water resistant rating. That's not waterproof, so don't go submarining this thing.
So yeah, as you can see, we are not near the city yet at all, but it's going great so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having a blast, dude. This is sick. What? Where is this on the map? I always knew there was another path that came through this bush. I used to ride my BMX along. It's just not on Google Maps. We're at 8 kilometers into our journey. We haven't lost any battery. Now I know where this path is. Into civilization from the bush. 10 k's an hour, it's just getting up the hill. There was a bit of a scrape noise. It's gone now. Man, that skate part's sick. That's where I hurt my hand. All my instincts tell me to ride a scooter on the footpath, but I have to come up onto the road in the bike lane because that's not a shared path. That's for human feet.
It's too hard to indicate with one hand on a scooter like you would on a bike when trying to turn a corner and accelerate at the same time. Just hitting the button to let other users of the road know where you're going is great.
Okay, the last hill before town. I don't know if the scooter's got it in it. If you're in a climbing gear and a bike, you're probably only going about 10 k's an hour. Oh, suspension makes light work of train tracks. 14 kilometers, 1 hour. We have successfully picked up thermal compound. I need to find a place we can lock this up so I can go into the shopping centre.
The handle at the back of the scooter is only held on by a couple of screws, so when chaining it up, I run it through that and the rear fork. However, the latch for carrying is subpar. When you fold down the handlebars, there's a little hook that catches at the rear. This doesn't latch on, so any downward movement from the handlebars instantly removes it. The scooter comes in at 25 kilos. I want confidence that if I'm lifting it into a car, a simple bump of the rear tire wouldn't unlatch it. However, that hook is useful for accessories or maybe a shopping bag when upright. The food's not for you. Also, this thing is long. It doesn't fit in my sporty car, so bear that in mind. Adult-sized scooters are big. Hi, you want to play basketball? I'm sorry, I'm trying to tell them about the scooter. Pressing the light button on the right-hand side enables the headlight as well as an always-on brake light. When you pull the brakes though, it does the usual extra bright braking. If you're in a pinch, the headlight is usable, but I would definitely be grabbing a bike light, something more powerful for any serious night riding.
So we've only done 2 kilometers now since town and we've already dropped another bar. That's not good. I am slightly lost, but that's okay. I wonder if Google Maps could tell me the flattest way to somewhere.
Pulling the levers on the handlebars will activate the front or rear drum brakes, and on the left-hand side you have your electric brake, which stops even faster. Now the cool thing about the electric brake is it's regenerative, so it'll charge the battery whilst you're using it. It also automatically activates when you're going downhill to stop you from going over the top speed of the mode that you're in.
Went from 2 battery bars to 3 going down this hill. I think we're gonna make it.
The manual states not to use the electric brake when the scooter's fully charged because you could risk overcharging it, and it also says not to use it down a hill for a long time at risk of overloading the controller. However, I found on a long hill after a period of time, it let go.
Hey! This is sick. I think I ate a bug though.
Speaking of braking, the replacement rear fender arrived and the tail light, it made it difficult. After removing the damage on arrival fender, I unscrewed the tail light, and from picking at the silicone for ages, I couldn't find any terminal that I could unplug from the light, which meant I had to trace the cable into the scooter, void the warranty, and find where the cable plugged in. After removing the plug end, I taped on a spare wire to fish it through.
Oh, finally, it's off.
I spent $15 on some silicone to redo the water resistant seal on the tail light, the cable fed mounts, and inside the scooter. And so just like an e-bike, if you've got general electronics knowledge, you could tinker your way through servicing. If not, chop it off and pay someone to do it for you. For liability reasons, I'm not endorsing you to do anything. The other issue I've had is with the front tire. See, they've got self-healing tubeless tires, but out the box, I had to inflate the thing every ride. So I pried it open and put in some of my mountain bike's tubeless tire sealant, and this seemed to seal the seating of the tire to the rim a lot better, and I've had no pressure issues now for the past week.
This is normally where I take my bike, but it takes us back to where we need to go. We're doing some actual off-road trails. Oh yeah, and we're back. I am broken a sweat. I'm going to town and back. What?
The rear motor is rated to a peak 1000 watts. However, its nominal power is 500 watts. So it's a 500 watt scooter. In eco mode, it's barely working to reach the capped 15 kilometers an hour. In dynamic, it's comfortable acceleration up to 20 kilometers an hour. And in sport, the full power and torque rips you to that 25 kilometers an hour. Be careful though if you activate the zero start feature by pressing the power button 5 times, because without the initial push to get started, it's very easy to rip a burnout when not standing on the platform.
Should turn on cruise control mode.
Quick press the power button 4 times to turn on the cruise control function, so after 8 seconds of a sustained speed, it'll beep and the scooter will lock in to cruise at that speed. Now that is a great feature, but you gotta be careful, because I was pulling to the driveway one day in eco mode. It's slow enough for me to just kind of let go of the accelerator and step off the scooter. But the moment I went to let go, it activated cruise control, ripped the scooter from me, up on the back wheel, the front wheel hit the garage door, back wheel did a burnout before I could grab the brakes. Thankfully, it didn't hit my 350Z, or else I would have been crying. Whilst on long straight journeys, this is a great feature to have. But you need to untrain your brain from thinking you can simply roll to a stop in case it activates when you try to roll to a stop. It's quite the shock.
I've done it. Oh, we made it home. 2 hours of standing? 27 kilometers. Hey, I didn't think it was gonna make it. I'm pleasantly surprised.
In the past month, I've done over 100 kilometers on the Daxys Bandicoot electric scooter, and it's been fun, but it's not for me. After the town trip, I plugged it into charge and logged 7 hours of charge time with 610 watt hours pulled from the wall. It was pretty much flat. Now I repeated the same journey in sports mode, going through the bush in the same pathways, with the last kilometer to my mate's house in town being different, and it went flat about 200 meters from my house. So we're about 20 kilometers in sports mode. So the rated 50 kilometers on the box is definitely for a terrain not as hilly as my area. Now there's always an option of charging at your destination, and it is lightweight enough that if I threw it in my backpack, I wouldn't notice the difference between it and my laptop charger. Because bear in mind, all of these trips have been done with a fresh battery. It's rated that after 500 charging cycles, it'll be at 70% capacity. So if I'm barely making it home from town or mate's house, it's only gonna get worse for me and the terrain I need to cover. Now, the biggest negative I have with this scooter is the cruise control. Of course, you can turn it completely off, but having it on and being automatic after 8 seconds at any speed is just a bit of a safety concern. Yes, it beeps to let you know it's engaged, but imagine driving a car and taking your foot off the accelerator, and at that same point, it beeps and enabled cruise control, so you didn't roll to a stop. And with the throttle being as responsive as it is in sports mode, it's really hard to throttle, say, around 20 kilometers an hour for 8 seconds, so I can lock it into the regulation for my state. I'm allowed to go over 20 k's an hour. And the latching mechanism to lift it, still a big design flaw. As for positives though, it's a great scooter in every other way. The suspension, phenomenal. I'm 85 kilos and it's just the most comfortable, cruisy ride, especially over the renter scooters, like in the cities, like those things are just, they'll shake your brains. The only other consideration is the price. The retail is 1,999 Australian dollars. Now it's often on sale for 1,300. I've seen it at JB Hi-Fi and other sellers at that price. So for a 500 watt motor, batteries, all metal frame, suspension, pneumatic tires, yeah, that's reasonable. You can get spare parts from Panmi. Currently a battery will set you back 438 Australian dollars. They also happen to be the distributor of this scooter in Australia, and they sent it to me for this video. Now, it's not sponsored. They don't get no revision of this. They'll say at the same time that you do. If you're overseas, the Apollo City 2022 is a very similar scooter, just doesn't have the 25 kilometer hour limit as it's not for the Australian market. Living where I do, an e-scooter in general isn't something that I would buy, but if I lived in the city and had like a 5K trip, then yeah, sure, I would blast ripping this thing around in sports mode and not working up a sweat to get into work, because I'm an e-bike rider. I hit up mountains, I'm sweating all the time on that thing. And when I rode it to work, I was rocking up sweaty, but it's a tool that serves a different purpose to me. I wanna know if you already own an e-powered device or if there's a feature that you're waiting to change before you make the purchase. If you liked today's video, thumbs it. If you loved it, sub it. And I'll see you in my Bose sunglasses review. These things are killer. Like I wear them on my bike, I wear them on the scooter to listen to music, but stay aware of my surroundings. Thank you for watching the whole video. Bye.